Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Yeah, welcome to the Drinkin Bros Super Bowl prediction show, brought to you by MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. You know the rules, kids. This is when Daddy empties out the account for the year and I go all in for the Super Bowl. This one's a little extra special, D'Anthony, because Delco Dan's Philadelphia Eagles are in the Super Bowl. Look at you all decked out.
Wait, let me go full Delco.
There you go, full Delco.
Yo, boys.
Yeah, we greased up all the poles in the neighborhood already in preparation for this asshole trying to climb them and knock them down.
We had to. We greased up everything in the Airbnb here.
It's not going to stop me.
We're in lovely Arizona a couple days before the game now. Had a chance to chat with a lot of people throughout the week about the Super Bowl. Gonna be real with you. I don't know that we've chatted with one person that has picked the Eagles. I mean, the Chiefs, I'm sorry, so far. Is that a good omen for the Eagles then?
Yeah, you got to love when the public's on your team. It's usually a good sign.
Do you? Yes or no?
No.
I was going to say.
That's always a bad sign.
It's weird, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe the public's right sometimes, you know?
Maybe. I mean, it's one of those things that I've struggled with. And even looking at, all the bets that we're going to talk about today, it's not great for the Chiefs. Like, I'm looking at the numbers for the Chiefs on the back end for some of these player props and everything else. Mm-hmm. When your lead running back is Isaiah Pacheco, and it's plus 300 for him to get 70 yards in the game rushing, it's not great.
He's also going to be returning kicks. I mean, it's nice that Hilaire's back to take some of those. He'll probably get 10 or 11 carries. That'll help take some of the weight off. But still, the most injuries happen on special teams plays, right? So it's just McCole Hardman being out that really sucks for Kansas City.
Yeah, so he's on the IR. Coming off the IR is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So at least they do have two running backs in the backfield, but that's kind of it.
But it's still Andy Reid, right? So it's hard to even without all the pieces. Look what he did last week.
Yeah.
It's Andy Reid.
But it was still very, very close. Cincinnati definitely had a chance to pull it out at the end. Some say they didn't deserve home field advantage. I'm one of those people. For you, your head coach, Sirianni, this week said that he still had a chip on his shoulder for being snubbed by Andy Reid in 2012.
Well, he's ingrained in the culture, right? Philadelphia, Delco, we all have a chip on our shoulder.
Is he? Yeah, it seems like everybody loves this guy, by the way.
Yeah, because it's a natural fit.
Yeah.
It just seems like a normal dude that you went to, high school with.
But you and I were chatting earlier this morning about his first presser when he got announced as head coach.
He was stumbling over his words.
Nervous.
Super nervous.
But who wouldn't be? You're coaching the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
I mean, that's a job that if you fail, I mean, not only do they never let you hear the end of it, but they hate you forever because they still hate Andy Reid.
We don't hate Andy Reid.
You don't.
No.
But the rest of Philadelphia does, seems like.
It's complicated.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, he got to, four
NFC Championship games.
And then a Super Bowl.
One Super Bowl.
Very close. You guys were one score away from winning the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And
nobody hates Andy Reid. It was a mutual kind of split in where it's like we need to change the scenery for everybody.
Yeah.
It was good for both parties.
Yeah, and look, it's seemingly worked out this year, and we'll see.
Andy Reid's a top 5 coach, maybe ever.
I agree. I agree. Because at this point, how many Super Bowls has he been to? How many championships has he been to?
Well, he's 1-2 right now in Super Bowls.
Yeah. So 3 Super Bowls, but then how many championships AFC and NFC combined? 9?
Yeah, a bunch.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy at this point. So, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer to me.
Yeah, well,
look, you never know. I mean, people look at this shit and they're like, all right, great, you won one or whatever.
Yeah, but his win percentage in the NFL is astronomical.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. One of the best to do it, but on the other side of the ball, you got the Eagles, and the numbers are great for the Eagles. Like Miles Sanders, Brown, you got Devonta Smith, all these guys, high numbers. And then there's one guy who's your quarterback who look, if you're on MyBookie.com, again, promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. it's not great for him to throw for over 200 yards in this game.
Yeah,
Right.
but
So with that said, I think a prop that's probably worth taking right now is a defensive player MVP prop for the Philadelphia Eagles. Like a Reddick or like somebody that's going to cause havoc, have a big game. It's going to be all up in Mahomes' face.
I like that. I actually haven't heard that yet. A listener sent in odds on tight ends. So Travis Kelce or potentially Goddard.
Yeah.
And that was plus 800. So that's 8-1 essentially.
It's not good enough.
For you,
Right.
I love 8-1 odds, so I took it. I threw a hundo on it.
Like I know it's usually, even if he throws a pick, usually kind of leans to the quarterback. But if a defensive guy goes off, I could see an Eagle
Yep.
win the MVP.
I could too, 100%.
I mean, you could see Chris Jones win it too, though, right?
That too.
Yes.
As far as
If the Chiefs win, Mahomes is MVP.
not
I
if he
don't see
throws
Chris
for
Jones.
220.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Dude, they give it away pretty. Like, it's really hard to not give
We'll
a
see.
quarterback.
It is,
MVP.
and speaking of which, quarterback is the highest favored position in this. Defense is way down there. Look, it's a good value pick for sure.
And you know I'm about value.
Oh, I know you are.
Yeah.
And if it's the Eagles, and let's say Jalen Hurts doesn't have a good game, I'm with you. If they ended up winning, it's probably going to go to a defensive guy.
Regarding Jalen Hurts and his play at quarterback, in the playoffs, the Eagles are outscoring opponents 69-14 so far. So that's a 45-point difference. That's 15 points per game. So I want to reiterate, the game is not won. You don't get extra credit for fucking more passing yards or more rushing yards or any of that shit. You get credit for putting points on the board and keeping points off the board for the other team.
Now, here's the knock on that. Their two opponents in the playoffs were the Giants, who were not very good. Eagles beat them 3 times in the last 6 weeks. They rushed for over 350 yards, I believe, in the playoff game.
They ain't playing nobody, pal.
But they didn't just beat them. They
haven't played anybody.
They didn't just beat them.
They ain't playing nobody now
Yep.
all damn year. Why they in the game, pal?
They dominated all 3 of the teams they faced, regardless of what fucking.
And we
issues.
played 2 teams.
Yeah, they got the bye.
yeah.
We crushed the bye.
Yeah, you crushed the bye. You guys were very, very favored in the bye.
It's
Bye.
You just don't. I don't care about any of that.
You
stuff.
play the teams
know?
on your schedule.
I know you don't care, but I care. I look
And
at it. The
listen,
49ers didn't have a quarterback.
There's only 3 teams in NFL history who, in multiple rounds of the playoffs, have put up a point differential like that. One is the 78 Steelers, the 89 49ers, and there's one other one. I can't remember who it is. Well, it's there's 4 technically now because the Eagles have done it.
Listen,
but
we're gonna
all three previous teams have won the Super Bowl.
We're going to beat a banged-up Chiefs team, and they're going to be like, well, the Chiefs were hurt. Put an asterisk next to that Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Doesn't count.
because
Doesn't
I
matter.
mean, and I'll go back to the stat that Dan just mentioned. Even in the NFC Championship, it was the first time ever that a 4-string quarterback actually started the NFC Championship. So, yes, they're going to win by 30 points. I mean, it was Josh Johnson.
Yeah, he didn't start.
no, he came in second, but yeah.
He got hit.
Sort of.
In, like, the
Would he
first
break his
quarter.
arm in the first series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was somewhere.
Fourth pass or something.
5 minutes into the game, and then he was gone.
He came back.
Well, he
100% completion rate.
Could
4 for
not
4.
throw the ball. I've never seen it in my entire life, and that's why this game is so hard to pick. I went back through all the schedule back from the 49ers, right? Earlier on in the year, I said there was probably 4 to 5 teams that could win the Super Bowl. Now, the Eagles were included in that list.
Position for position, other than quarterback.
And tight end.
And, yeah, tight end. Taking the Eagles in, like,
Look,
most of
Eagles
those
have it all on paper for sure. Absolutely. And look, we all know that I've won the last 5 Super Bowls. I've said it a million times on this show. The only other time that it came down to something like this was Tom Brady versus Mahomes, and I went with Brady over Mahomes, and that was it.
Yeah, that's what happened in the last. I mean, the defense overran that Chiefs team.
Yep.
And boat raced them.
But the Chiefs had a lot of injuries on offensive line. This year they don't.
They don't have a lot of receivers. They don't have a lot of weapons right now. Travis Kelce's banged up. Mahomes is banged up.
But he looked pretty goddamn good.
It was good.
Yeah.
They're going to shoot him up.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 2 weeks to go to rehab. He'll be fine.
Yeah, so speaking of which, he said today his ankle is in a lot better spot than it was 2 weeks ago.
And Hurts' shoulder's going to be better.
He feels pretty good. Is it?
It should be.
I've heard nothing about that guy and his shoulder. Is it the shoulder or is it something else?
It's a shoulder.
It is, okay.
Yeah. He's not 100%. He's been saying he's not 100%.
So I haven't heard it. He hasn't really said much about the shoulder or anything else going on over the last couple weeks. Neither is Sirianni. And again, that's what makes this really fucking hard to bet. So we'll start with the line. Now, the line opened up at plus 2.5. Mm-hmm. It was a big boy number. That immediately shrank down to 1.5. And the last, I think, 16 Super Bowls that a line shifted that quickly by over a point, usually the favored team won, so that is certainly in favor for the Eagles here if you're looking at the stats. Plus 1.5 is for the Chiefs, and then the over-under has shot up to 51 points here. Which
I don't like that.
I don't either. So what do you do here? We'll start with you. What do you do with the over-under?
Under.
Okay.
Hard.
What do you think the final score is then?
I think this could be gross. I could see like a 17-13 game.
Really, with Mahomes?
Yeah.
And, I mean, all the weapons on the Eagles' offense.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, D'Anthony?
I got 24-21.
Okay. So I'm in the same spot. I'm 24-21, 28-24.
Here's why, by the way. Philly can't win in a shootout. Regardless of what receiver weapons they have, they're not going to win that game because, let's just be real about it. Patrick Mahomes is light years ahead of any other quarterback in the NFL.
Yes.
When it comes to that, especially in fucking pressure time, man. So the Eagles are going to go out of their way to make sure that doesn't happen. That's the reason I say that. And if it's high, I'm betting on the Eagles. So if it's high scoring, I'm going to be fucked either way.
Yeah, so here's what I did as far as teasers go, because I have numerous bets, and I'll tell you what those are here coming up. But as far as teaser-wise, even at 24-21, because I've heard that a lot this week as well, and I had 28-24, I teased down the over to 44 points from 51, and then I jacked up the Chiefs spread to plus 8.5 there. So that's the teaser for the game. Straight up on the game, I'm taking the Chiefs plus 1.5. Who were you taking, D'Anthony? That's for the spread itself.
Yeah, I'll take minus 1.5 for the Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then obviously super fan over here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs. No.
If you did, I'd lose my
No.
shit.
I'm not going to emotionally hedge. Just double down. Always double down. Eagles win the game. They cover.
Do you think it's a big boy spread? I was talking to Alex Monaco this morning.
What's it at now?
He said it's 1.5, but he jacked it up to minus 6.5 for the Eagles, because you can do that on all these
get
prop
like
bets.
plus 2 something.
240, yeah.
This is alt lines, yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton of alt lines on here. Do you do something like that?
Maybe. It could
He
get
said 31-17,
Okay.
and I've heard that a lot this week too, where they think the Eagles are going to win by 10 plus.
Yeah. Again, Chiefs are super banged up. We're better in most aspects of the game. But Mahomes is the X factor.
Yes.
Like he always is.
Yeah, I agree.
But, Andy's 1-2 in Super Bowls. So
He is. We'll see. Has
About to be 1-3.
Sirianni, even as an assistant, gotten into a Super Bowl?
he was because he was the assistant for Reid with the Colts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, I'm going to get into some of these prop bets here that we made. Travis Kelce is one of the prop bets that I made here to have 112 yards receiving.
Ooh.
Well, look,
That's
I
his
think
only option. I know.
it's the only option there. So who else is there?
I don't see that. I would say under.
Yeah, probably under. Here's what
They're
I
gonna
think. Here's what
lock
I
him
think.
down.
They're going to try to bang him up off the line on almost every play. They're probably going to fucking run a cover 2 with the strong safety forward to pick him up after he goes over the top of the linebackers. They may get burned, right? But Kelsey's definitely the best receiver option they have by a wide margin. He's also, even when Tyreek Hill was there, he was Mahomes' favorite target even then, right? So he definitely is going to be now.
And I think for these guys to win, so I took it because it's 2.5 to 1. I think for the Chiefs to win, since I did pick them to win, Travis Kelce has to have a monster game or they're fucked.
Or they get defensive touchdowns. One of the two.
The Chiefs don't get a lot of defensive touchdowns, so
the Eagles do, but the Chiefs don't turn the ball over very much,
right, which is why I like that defensive MVP bet. I'm gonna throw some money on that as well.
What do we got at with Reddick?
Well, we'll get there. Next up, I took Isaiah Pacheco at plus 27 yards. 27 plus receiving yards in this one. That was close to 2 to 1 there. I think they don't have a choice. I mean, look, like you said, everybody's kind of banged up.
Could be one catch.
Yeah, it could be one catch, and hey, congratulations, you got it.
They also, I mean, it's Andy Reid, right? So who knows what kind of fucking trick play he's going to run to get some fast dude the ball out in space.
Yeah.
And it probably won't be Hilaire because he's just back. So Pacheco's your number one option for that kind of play.
And then the number 2 option here, as far as receivers are concerned, is Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Now, this is 3-1, and this is for him to go for 77 yards or more receiving, and I took that because I think he's got to have it.
I mean, Philly's going to try to jam up Kelsey, and he's the next best guy.
He's the other guy. Yeah. So what do you do here with so many injuries on the Chiefs wide receivers? I mean, that's the dude. He played very well against Cincinnati, and he was great in Green Bay. But Green Bay is the same way as the Chiefs are, where they'll spread the ball around. So who knows? But you're kind of down to those 2 guys. So I sprinkled money on that. What do you got in that?
I don't fucking know, man. Like, it's a crapshoot with his receivers.
It's wild, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
didn't he
whoever's
throw to
open.
11 different people
He did.
in the AFC Championship game?
I would take the under in most of these numbers.
So let me hit you with this next one here. As far as MVS goes, 4 catches plus, and that was paying off at pretty much 2-1. I took that because, again, I don't think he has a choice.
Who?
Scantling.
Yeah. No.
Wild, right?
Yeah. I would take the under on all these.
If there's a Kelsey touchdowns, see what that is.
probably
So
one.
2.
It's 2?
Two touchdowns for Kelsey.
I would take that.
Under.
He'll catch 2 touchdowns
No,
for
he's
sure.
not.
I think he has to,
Yeah,
right?
he has to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It'll either he'll catch 2 or there'll be 3 rushing touchdowns, probably, right? Or at least 2 rushing touchdowns.
The other interesting one was Mahomes carries for the game. Now, this is because of the ankle, obviously, and I wanted to ask you guys this. If they're winning at the end of the game and he takes a knee, does that count as a carry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the over-under on that is 4.5 carries a game. I took the over on Mahomes on that because the Eagles' defense is so good. I think he's going to have to take off no matter what. And as long as he can pass the line of scrimmage, that's a carry.
I mean, they're
right?
probably going to have to do at least 2 QB sneaks on 3rd or 4th down in the game, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's probably a safe bet.
Yeah. Next up, Juju, over under 38.5 yards.
I would take the over on that.
I got the over on that as well. Yeah. I mean,
He might come out and get 100, to be honest.
100's a big boy number. That is on the board, by the way, and that's at 4-1. So if you want that, take it.
That's not good enough odds. 6-1, I would take it, but not 4.
Okay. Tight ends, like I said, would pay off. It's 9-1 actually. In that one was the final on that. I took that in tight ends. Jalen Hurts passing yards, 200 or less, pays off at 2-1. What do you think, Telco?
Oh, he's hitting the over.
You think he's going to throw over 200 yards?
Yeah, I'll throw for, I'm going to say 255.
Now, he hasn't done it in 6 weeks.
It doesn't matter. He's had
Okay.
2 weeks to prepare. He's getting better. He's only getting healthier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you take away that 34-yard catch from 2 weeks ago, he threw for 80 yards.
What's your point? He has A.J. Brown. He has Devonta Smith.
But what happened in the 49ers game then?
The
best
49ers
defense in
are the best
football.
defense in football, yeah. That's what happened.
Also, they didn't have to throw the ball much.
No.
Like, they intentionally ran the ball in the second half.
Which I didn't care for. I thought Sirianni, that was kind of stupid, letting Jalen Hurts run the ball with his banged up shoulder.
Yeah,
It
that
seemed
was
odd
dumb.
to me,
It's
too.
stupid.
Unless something else was wrong, and who knows? First touchdown of the game. Who do you guys got on that?
Eagles.
Is there a prop bet where you can do the kick return, the Devin Hester?
Yes. So you can do kick returns. You can also do individual players in this. And I'll tell you who I took. I think it's going to be Kelsey or Pacheco from the Chiefs is who I took on that. And the odds are great. These are all 8-1 odds.
What about Miles Sanders?
Miles Sanders is on the board here as well. He is at 7-1 on mybookie.com.
See,
It's
that's
a big
why.
game. I would rather go Devonta Smith. I think Devonta Smith shows up in these spots.
So Devonta Smith all the odds for Devonta Smith in this game are really high.
Yeah.
If he goes over 100 yards and everything else, I think he's one of the best wide receivers I've ever seen in real life. I was at that national championship.
He went off
Against Ohio State.
He's so
Torched
skinny,
him.
people fucking underestimate him, but that dude can bowl, man.
He's so fucking fast. I have
Great
never seen a
hands, too.
faster receiver in real life than that guy. And I said it after the national championship when he torched Ohio State, and I was like, dude, that's the fastest wide receiver I've ever seen. I'm surprised they don't get the ball to him more. So the odds of him going over 100 yards were very, very high in this one. You're close to 9-1 on that, so do you take that?
9-1 for over 100 yards.
Yeah.
For Devonta Smith.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's tempting.
9-1.
It's been a long time. He hasn't had 100 yards in a game, and
Yeah, but it does again. The bigger the stage gets, he somehow just performs better. So I think Devonta Smith's gonna have a big game.
okay.
Yeah.
And as far as first touchdown of the game, let's say it's from the Eagles side. I've already said who the Chiefs are, in my opinion.
I'm gonna go Smith.
You're going to go Smith in that one.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you? What about you, D'Anthony?
I would have taken Miles Sanders, but he's the fucking short odds.
Or actually,
on everybody else.
Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts might be the guy.
Oh, rushing touchdowns.
Yeah,
Good.
What's the odds on him?
3-1.
Yeah.
3-1?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. No,
What's
I'm not taking
Devonta?
that.
Devonta's at 7-1 right now.
So everybody's fucking cheating Philly right now.
Well, I mean,
By one, because everybody on KC was 8-1.
look, a lot of people are picking Philly to win the game. So, like, these odds are going to be worse for Philly. If you're looking for higher odds, you're going to have to go Devonta Smith over 100. You're going to have to go all the passing yards. If you're looking for good odds on individual players for Philly, because the running backs suck, like the odds for the running backs suck. I mean, they've got Miles Sanders going for over 100 yards in this game on most of this shit. Jalen Hurts, betting on him or betting on the receivers is the only way you're going to get any value for the Eagles. Because they just don't think Jalen Hurts can throw the fucking football.
It's Kansas City's defense isn't that great either. They're getting a lot of love right now. Spagnuolo steps it up usually in bigger spots too. But I mean, for the year they're okay.
Yeah.
They're not fantastic.
They have two standouts, Clark and fucking Chris Jones. But yeah, everybody else. They have a couple good linebackers, but everybody else is they're a good defense, like a good fucking upper third of the league defense. But they're nothing close to what Philly's.
They're not the 49ers.
Yeah, that's not even. They're not even the same ballpark. And Philly's defense is elite.
It is. And looking at this, there's over 457 prop odds on mybookie.com. You can even bet on whether or not someone will miss a point after.
I'd take that. What's the odds on that?
3-1.
I'll probably bet that.
So if you're saying yes, it's 3-1. If you're saying no, it's minus 400 on that one. Special teams or defensive touchdowns scored in this one.
Yes.
Okay, so yes is plus 255. Even those odds aren't great.
2.5 is still pretty good, though.
It's not bad.
These teams don't turn the ball over much, but
Right.
but Kansas City hasn't seen a pass rush like this in a while, right? And the Eagles back up their pass rush with a new and improved, amazing fucking run defense, especially with when Sue's in there on first and second down. And you're trying to run the ball, good fucking luck.
It's a luxury to have him as like a rotation guy.
Seriously, man. Holy shit.
And Joseph too.
He's like your fucking third tackle, I think, in the lineup. So, and then you have Joseph as well.
Joseph's
He's your
been a
fourth
beast,
tackle in the lineup. I mean, goddamn.
And because of how great the Eagles' defense is, I mean, going down the totals of these things, if you're looking for value, defense isn't it. Total sacks is the over is 2.5 in this one.
I'll take the over on that.
Easily, but it's minus 140.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I would have. You can't do alt lines on sacks, unfortunately, but I would have put that at 4. To be honest.
yeah,
Chiefs still have a really good offensive line.
They do.
Yeah.
They have. So these are the two best offensive lines of football. There's no question. They both have 3 starters on the Pro Bowl. The only 2 teams in football to have 3 offensive line starters in the Pro Bowl. And after we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, I did some digging, and Philly, and the stats that you judge an offensive line by, Philly's 1st and 3, and then the Chiefs are 1st and 3. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Okay.
This is like the 2 best goddamn offensive lines in football, and it's not even close. You know what I mean?
Here's how crazy the odds are getting in this game, by the way. Will there be a word omitted from the national anthem? Yes is plus 700 in this. It's Chris Stapleton.
Like he's going to fuck it up.
Just leave out one word.
Or is he not going to say the Rockets thing because people were afraid? It's a country singer. No, it's Chris Stapleton. He's not going to miss any words.
I don't think so either.
Oh, man. What's the odds on
You
that?
can bet on that. It's minus 1,500 for no, plus 700 for yes. You know, people do get nervous, and it has happened.
I'll call that motherfucker and be like, hey.
What's the over-under for
mind.
time?
We'll get to that in a second here. Who's going to be shown first? Coach-wise for the national anthem, Andy Reid is minus 120. Nick Sirianni is also minus 120 in that.
It's a coin flip, yeah.
I think you got Reid. They love Reid.
You're going to go Reid first.
They love Reid.
Yeah.
They love him. So I think you're fine. First player to be shown during the national anthem.
Mahomes.
They got Mahomes, and then they got Jalen Hurts. Mahomes is minus 150. Jalen Hurts is plus 110.
They're going to show them both at the same time, split screen probably. Because it's the first two black quarterbacks ever to match up in the fucking Super Bowl. That'd be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't bet on that.
Or it'll go Mahomes and like fade into Jalen.
Fade into it, yeah. But Mahomes still would be first. All right, let's get to Super Bowl MVP here. Mahomes is at plus 120 here. Jalen Hurts is at plus 125. Now you're starting to get in some good odds after that. Mm-hmm. Throw those two out the window. Travis Kelce is 13.5 to 1. Devonta Smith, 29 to 1. What do you think of that, Delco?
I like that, but again, give me Reddick.
Okay.
What's Reddick at?
So, scrolling down here, Reddick is at 30 to 1.
Yeah.
That's a big boy number there.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Chris Jones is right after that at 42 to 1.
I might take that.
Because if it is a close game, like let's say it is nasty, let's say 17-13, then a defensive guy is definitely getting it.
Jones has 3 sacks or something like that, which he just did.
Yeah. Is Kadarius Toney even playing in this game? Do we know that? There's a lot of odds on him for the Chiefs, and from my knowledge, I think he's injured. But we'll see what happens here. And then heading on down the line. Now, here's the beauty of it. You can pick for position of MVP, and I like that as well. Now, quarterback is obviously super low here, and it's minus 600. No need for that. Wide receiver, though, plus 660. Tight end, plus 910. Running back, plus 1,100. Defensive lineman, plus 2,400. That's probably the play, right? 24 to 1. It's pretty decent. And that could cover both sides.
Yeah, if it's 24 to 1, I'd rather sprinkle that than 30 to 1 or 42 to 1.
Yeah.
Because you get both sides, and it could be anybody on the defensive line.
I mean, you could
off.
always bet both, Delco.
You could.
Can you parlay something like that?
No.
Now, the beauty of it is, and I'm saving this for you here, they've got some cross sports. These are the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Waste management,
Right.
winning score, and
Right now, Rom's at 8 under.
all right. So waste management, winning score, minus 27.5 for the winner. Or Jalen Hurts passing yards, plus 27.5.
What?
What do you think?
I don't.
Like what's
I don't
higher?
understand the prop bet.
So their total for all 4 rounds is higher or lower than Jalen Hurts
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
passing yards. So what's that going to be like?
It'll be like
60,
260.
68 a round. So
It'll be like 250 something.
Well,
if
we'll
somebody-
see. You got to figure out. So, what is the winner going to finish out of the waste
Is
management?
this 72 or 71?
I forget. I think it's
Look at the par
70.
for that.
It's 70.
So somebody's a minus 8 right now, right?
71.
It's 71. So
71 times
let's
4.
say 4 strokes a day. It takes it down
This
to
requires
67.
me to do math. I don't like this.
Yeah, well, that's life.
One
Gambling is math.
268.
So 284 is what par would be.
Yeah,
so
268.
Winning score is probably going to be around minus 15.
Okay.
So
269.
269 for passing yards. And you said minus 27?
Yeah.
I'll take the fucking golf. I don't think he's going to throw for you. Even hopeful over here said 255 for Hurts.
Yeah. So 269 minus 27. I think Hurts throws for more than that.
Okay. Now this.
Yeah, that's right. It's okay. Yeah.
I would take
Hurts. Probably, yeah.
Okay. This one's for Giorgio. My bookie's got some cool shit. You ready, Giorgio? All right. So this is cross sports for the weekend here. This is UFC and the Super Bowl, and you can actually bet this on my bookie. UFC 284, total knockouts and TKOs versus Super Bowl touchdown passes.
Wait, total for the prelim, the undercard, and the main card?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's a lot of fights, dude. But
it's knockouts.
I gotta
It's-
factor in like who's on the
it's-
fucking early
Yeah, dude.
prelims.
5, 7, and then there's usually 7 on the prelim too, so that's 19 fights.
The Volk Islam fight's gonna end in a finish. Probably
Yeah, it could be a
submission.
submission.
Does it count submissions? Just any
knockout.
finishes?
TKOs and KOs. Tough one, right?
Yeah. Yair Rodriguez, Josh Emmett might end in a KO.
I think there's probably going to be 5 or 6 touchdown passes in this game. So
Okay.
would there
More
yeah,
KOs?
probably in those prelim fights, right?
All right.
Yeah, you're gonna have a bunch of like Aussies and shit on that card. They'll go for the knockouts.
Okay.
'Cause they're gonna
So you
try to
got the
play the
knockouts
home
over the
route.
touchdown passes.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. I like that. What else we got here? Oh, John Morant. We got some NBA in here.
Pass.
We don't even know if he's going to play. With load management in the NBA, I wouldn't even take this bet.
Why is he cruising around with dudes from back on the block pointing guns at people and shit?
I don't know, but somebody just released a
Fucking idiot,
TikTok
man.
video of him, and they scored it to Eminem's final battle rap in 8 Mile. Clarence's parents have a real good marriage, and they said that John Morant is not a gangster and actually went to a private school.
Yeah.
Is that
So
true?
what- yeah.
Oh, it is.
So like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
It's pretty funny. Yeah,
You know-
I don't
you know-
either.
You know what's better than being tough is being fucking rich.
Yes.
And not in prison, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. Having $300 million in the
God
bank
damn it, dude.
is,
all he's got
is
to
the
do
best.
all he really has to do is make it like what 2 more years and he's going to get a supermax 5-year deal.
Yeah.
It's worth $250 million. Get the fuck out of here. Idiots. God damn it, man.
Either way, ton of fun odds on mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin' Bros doubles your first deposits. They've also got squares this year, which I'm not only doing in the neighborhood, I'm doing it on here. I will post all of my bet slips
That's true.
immediately after this show is over.
You got square shamed.
I did, dude.
Unit shamed.
I did.
By some meathead on the block.
I sure did, dude. I sure did.
$10, no thanks.
Nah, he was good on that, you know?
Yeah.
He was good on
Not
that.
worth his time.
People are taking it seriously. Like, it's gambling. So this is supposed to set the all-time record for a sporting event in the history of gambling.
You know what's funny? I got suspended 7th grade because I ran a block pool.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Did you win or lose?
I mean, I got suspended, so
Good for you.
yeah.
I'll call that a win.
Yeah, call it a win.
No.
Call it a win. What happens if the Eagles lose? How pissed off will you be?
I wouldn't be pissed.
Really?
Yeah, because we already won a Super Bowl.
No, I understand that, but like, still, you're here, and you know,
He's going to tear these fucking hedges out of the
it's all
ground.
Eagles fans, by the way.
No, I get that. I expect us to win. If we don't win, I'm not necessarily. It's not like a silver lining or anything, but like, I like Andy Reid. Andy Reid gets a championship. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
That's true. There aren't really any unlikable characters
No.
in this Super Bowl, and there wasn't last year either.
There's a lot of pieces of shit on the Kansas City Chiefs, but
Like who?
Who? Besides Mahomes' brother.
He doesn't play for the team.
I know, but he
and his wife.
and his wife.
It's
Yeah.
kind of a
doesn't-
reflection of him, really.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
it's true.
Yeah. But everybody seems to like Pat.
Yeah, and everybody else in the Chiefs is fine, I think.
Did they still have Kareem Hunt?
No.
No, he's
He was
kicking
gone
ladies in
years
Cleveland
ago.
now.
All right. I mean, Andy Reid's sons are kind of pieces of work.
Well, he's in
too.
jail.
Yeah.
5 years. He's serving 5 right now. Dead serious. So
And
he's not there.
That's just as big a reflection on Philly too. You got to eat that.
Yeah, you got to own that, dude.
No, there were problems after us.
Get the fuck out of here.
Kids, football season is almost over. This is the big one. It's where all our money's going, is on the Super Bowl. We're grateful to mybookie.com for being our title sponsor on Drinkin' Bros Sports for the year. It's been a blast. Use promo code Drinkin' Bros to double your first deposits all the way up to $1,000. Do you empty out the tank here on the Super Bowl? Or do you save some for March Madness?
No, I'll just reload. Yeah, I'll empty. I'll bet everything I've got in there.
Same. So I'll empty it out. I think I've got, I don't know, roughly $6 or $7 grand left. I was up real big this year, and then I lost. I got nuked in the NFC and AFC championship. No, I actually won the Ohio State game because they covered. So that was fine. And then I also picked TCU against Michigan. So that was great too. What wasn't so great was Kind of believing that maybe Max Duggan was going to carry that over for the national championship. Terrible, lost money there, and then lost in the last round. So I got nuked all the way back down to about 6 or 7K. I'm gonna dump that all out here on mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros again will double your first deposit up to $1,000, and you can bet with us or against us. D'Anthony's got the Eagles, and I've got the Chiefs in this one. There will be a winner and a loser unless the whole stadium blows up. Which we got a cop here in the background, and he says we've had some things go down in this city, not terrorism, just meth, and that's fine.
Shocking to hear that there are tweakers in Phoenix.
Yeah, and the reason I bring it up is I wish we could bet on that. I'd go real heavy on a fucking trailer home blowing up in the middle of the desert out here, but you can't bet on that. However, you can bet on everything else on mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. And then head on over to drinkinbrostickets.com if you want tickets to this game or the Waste Management. We get all the things for all the things on drinkinbrostickets.com. So not only the Super Bowl, if you want to go to Taylor Swift or go to a go-kart racing event in fucking Topeka, Kansas, we got everything on there. Head on over to drinkinbrostickets.com. No, drinkinbrostickets.com. Get your tickets today, damn it. But drinking the Hard AF seltzers. Forgive me. Welcome back to the Super Bowl extravaganza show. We got former Tennessee Titans player Dylan Cole on the show. How are you doing?
I'm great. How you doing?
I can't tell you, dude. When you walked in, you stared at my mustache for an unhealthy amount of time.
It's very suspicious.
We talked about this earlier. We've all got suspicious minds. Speaking of Tennessee, you big Elvis fan?
Not huge, but yes.
Yeah. Then you lied because you would have known that song. You're lining me up and down here. What's the real feelings on the stash? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pro stash, pro mullet, pro all that stuff, but I just don't do it myself.
Okay.
I encourage everybody else to do it, but I won't do it
You're
myself.
too good looking of a dude for it. That's why. When you get older, you'll start to slip into it.
I'll definitely, yeah. As I get older, I'll definitely either mustache or mullet, maybe both. I'm not sure.
There's a fucking what did we see the other day? What were we watching? Where it was a Mexican dude that had like it was kind of a mullet, but it was really short.
Oh!
And then it was
a black dude last night. It was
it was a black dude.
Shit, he was playing. LeBron broke the record against him.
Oh, that was 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
So it was a basketball player.
It was an old school like.
I've never seen anything like it before. It was like it wasn't a mullet in the traditional sense. Like a lot of black dudes do the fucking kind of full-on mohawk all the way back, which looks good.
Yeah.
But this dude, it was kind of like that, but then it was like puffy back here at the bottom.
He shaved the sides.
It was really weird,
He
man.
shaved the sides.
I like it.
Yeah.
I love that.
I don't know. It was
every time he pops up, you and I died laughing.
that one I couldn't. I enjoy a nice mullet. Like Theo Vaughn, that's a nice mullet, right? A well-kempt, well-groomed mullet is fucking nice.
Lance Liggett from Thigh Huggers, beautiful mullet.
There's a lot of good mullets out there. Some people take it too far, though.
Tons.
I think
Tons of people take it
with
too
the
far.
there's 2 levels of suspicion. One is like I'm holding and you might be a cop.
Yep.
And the other one is I've got children and you might be a pedophile.
Correct.
It's one of the two, typically,
Correct.
right?
Or
both.
I'm a very, very progressive porn star. You know.
What do you mean progressive?
I'm open to different things. You know, girls and guys.
Oh well, that's
You know what I'm saying?
Let's move on to football.
Why? That's what he's here for.
I did have questions when I walked. I mean,
He had a
go
ton of
ahead.
questions when he
Yeah.
walked in.
I saw the way I got, into this, and the guy that contacted me, I was like, I don't know about this, And I walk in and I see a guy with a mustache and talking about how manly he is. I was like, oh gosh.
And I got super close to you too. I go. You just shook a goddamn man's hand, and we were a good 8-9 inches apart at that point.
Yeah,
a lot of eye contact.
Great eye contact. Probably good 8 seconds of eye contact.
Yeah, you're welcome for all that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Because I had to divert your eyes because when we were talking, you were staring only here, and that's how a woman feels.
Did you say like my eyes are up here?
That's what I said. I was like, hey, dude, let's keep them up. You know.
No.
Is the mustache new?
No, well, 3-4 months.
Seasonal.
Okay.
It's like pumpkin spice lattes. Like it's seasonal for me. You know?
Wait, I don't remember why for this one.
For this one, we did a Christmas special. We did a huge live Christmas special. And then also, I think we can tell the audiences. I said this on another show, I think. We're going to the Daytona 500 next week with Dale Jr. So going to be hanging with Dale, and I want to show him this, obviously in honor of his father.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I want to ask him who wore it best.
Well, I got a number 3 shaved into my pubes.
Oh, do you really?
So we'll see if it comes up or not.
Yeah,
it may not come up. I may have done it for no reason, but
raise hell, praise Dale.
Yeah, pubes grow back to you.
With the Titans last year, you had a good season. You don't know if you're going to get picked up at this point. When does free agency start?
Yeah, so I guess technically I'm still under contract with Titans till March or whatever when free agency hits, and then we'll see if they're in contact with me before then. Then maybe we'll get a deal signed and won't hit the market. But if I do, then we'll see where I'm at next year.
Do you have teams that you say to yourself, you don't have to say what they are. I'm not going to Aaron Rodgers you here, but do you have teams where you're like, man, that city I'd like to live in more than others? Because we're here in Arizona this week. We don't actually come to Phoenix that often. It's beautiful. Nightlife is cool. Weather's great. You've got a great tan. You're wearing shorts in the dead of winter. That's got to be a nice feeling. Do you look at a team like Arizona and be like, man, that could be pretty nice?
Yeah, I mean, this is where I'm at. So I wouldn't be mad about it. But I'll tell you this, Nashville's a great spot to be.
It is.
But there are a few cities out there I'm like,
Yeah, our brewery's up there by Nashville, so we're in Nashville a lot. Yeah.
And they're doing some, maybe you don't know about this, or I could be wrong, but I think they're doing some improvements to the stadium this offseason, aren't they?
Yes.
Or is it next year maybe?
They're actually building a new stadium there.
that's subjective,
I see.
but
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, I think they got to get it done. So D'Anthony and I have been to that stadium numerous times. Not the biggest fan of it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. No matter where you're at in that stadium, club level, uppers, lowers, wherever, it is just fucking beating sun down on your face, and there's no escape from it in one single seat in that whole stadium.
Yeah, for whites like us, like we're too, look at the
whites.
You can tell what's happening.
This is whites right here.
It's like we can't, I may as well be a fucking vampire walking around in daylight at that point. My skin starts to cook. I can smell it. I'm like, God damn it.
It's like Steve Bannon's skin. You know what I'm saying? Where you're just like, that's too white.
Yeah, it's see-through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are they making? Because the only thing I know is the turf.
It'll have to be a dome because I don't think any new stadiums cannot be domes
brand new
anymore.
stadium. We're not talking like next year. They're just doing. I think they're doing turf next year.
Yeah, but you've got to dome it up for the entire stadium, and I think that's the ultimate plan, and I think every stadium will move to that eventually, whether or not the roof slides open or not. I'm from Atlanta, so I love that new stadium down there. That's beautiful, and that roof opens up in like 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's crazy fast.
Did you see the field here?
Not yet.
It's I think a 90-minute process, but the fucking whole turf slides off.
Really?
It's cool as shit.
Well, they pull it out.
Yeah.
To take care of the grass, and then when it's ready, they can slide it right back.
No shit. So we'll be at the game on Sunday. I haven't been to that stadium in a very long time. The last one I was there, 2008. It was a bad memory. It was a bad memory for me. I know you went to Missouri State, so you don't ever compete in games like this. But I went to the Ohio State University, and we got trounced by Florida in that game, and it was bad. It started off great. Do you remember Ted Ginn?
Yes.
One of the best players in college football. Yeah. Was up for the Heisman, all that stuff.
Yeah, great returner.
He ran the opening kick back for a touchdown. And I was like, holy shit, this is going to be the greatest day ever.
Yeah.
Our own players tackled him in the end zone, broke his leg in half.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? That was the game I was at.
And, so I was not like, I was about to get into high school at that time, by the way. So,
sure, and so was I. I was barely out. Yeah.
No, you were already eligible for AARP.
I think I was still in college actually.
You'll be fucking dead any
either way, I'm a super young dude. But either way, that was the Tim Tebow era. So like Tebow lit us up the rest of that game.
Yeah, I was a bandwagon Ohio State fan.
Were you?
Yeah, I was.
Welcome.
Yeah, so I was.
Wagon's open.
Yeah. So that was my team growing up.
Oh, great.
Who was your favorite player back then?
Back when?
When you were growing up?
Yeah, when you were growing up.
As a kid. Did you have your favorite in high school at Ohio State?
No, I don't. I didn't. It was literally just the team. I just like it was.
Okay.
Yeah, there was different players out there. I was a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Okay.
I was so I liked Priest Holmes back then.
Oh,
Gotcha.
yeah. He
So
was
I have my
was a fucking
favorites at
stud,
Ohio
that guy.
State. Very similar to the NFL.
Yeah.
I got my favorite players over time. Tragically, one of them passed away this morning. Demetrius Stanley was one of my favorites for Ohio State wide receiver. Caught the game-winning touchdown in the Rose Bowl against Arizona State. I was at that game as well, actually, and he died of cancer, but used to come up to our fraternity all the time and all that stuff. Found out right before we went on air. I was like, holy shit. But I was a huge fan of him. So I've had my favorite players over the years, and sometimes they're different than who the most famous one is.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. So for you, who was your favorite as a kid growing up? We'll start with pros first.
My favorite
Yeah, football player.
was
it Priest?
Holmes, yes.
Oh, so of all time.
Yeah,
But you're not a running back.
I was a running back all the way up, and then when I got to Missouri State, they recruited me as an athlete. Kind of looked at me, decided I should be a linebacker. But I wore 31 all the way up till I graduated.
Now your speed is impressive. I'm going to ask you about something online that I don't believe is true, but you can answer it for me.
All right, go ahead.
It says that you ran down the street against one of those mile-per-hour signs.
Yeah.
And you ran at 21 miles per hour. Is that true?
That is true. I got video evidence, and that was probably on like the 30th rep. I believe I've been clocked in Houston. Back when I played in Houston.
Yeah.
I was my fastest like GPS time was 22.4.
Holy shit.
That was my rookie year. That was
That's quick.
6 years ago.
That's quick though.
God damn.
What was did you do the combine?
No, I
pro
I
day?
did a pro day. It was,
What was your
it was a little
40?
cold. We ran in
Missouri State? Yeah,
so
what was your 40?
It was between 4.44 and 4.55.
That's not bad.
That's like their.
Yeah. I ran a 4.3 in college. But
No, you
whatever.
didn't. No, if you even tried to run right now, you would have a heart attack and die.
Probably.
Like
Probably.
no, not probably.
Yeah.
You would definitely be dead.
I gave up action sports a while ago. I can
an
tell you that. I think unless you're doing with what you do, like for a living, I don't think a grown man should do that at a certain age where it's just embarrassing at that point. So to Dan's point, that like he is correct in that.
You always
And
see these fucking jabronis
Yes.
go back out to the
Yep.
playground. Like, oh, I'm going to get back into ball. Like, you should have gotten back into the gym for like 2 years first.
Yeah.
Because now your legs don't work.
And a friend of ours just had a ruptured Achilles trying to get out of a full court basketball.
And that's what
game.
happened to Texas Governor Greg Abbott, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? Now he's in a wheelchair.
Now he's in a wheelchair.
Oh, okay, at least it's bad. I thought these like men were trying to do like football or something. I mean, basketball. That's
No,
softball
so-
league. Like that's gonna be my thing.
Luckily, like I think the intramural flag football ends in college.
Yeah.
And it should.
Yeah.
Like that's
No question.
You're all done with
Yes.
that. Don't even go to the Thanksgiving bullshit games and like try to hop into that. Don't do that to yourself. It's just not worth
Well,
it.
don't even go to the Pro Bowl because now Jalen Ramsey's going to knock your ass out whether you're playing tackle football or not. He doesn't give a
Flag
shit.
football, yeah. He doesn't give a
It's
shit.
like, hey, Tyreek, what's
That
up?
was unintentional, but yeah, I like that.
It's
I
pretty
love
funny.
it. Love
Sure.
it.
Well, we know Jalen. He's been on the show.
Yeah, they all had
That wasn't
pretty.
intentional.
They all had pretty good attitudes about that.
Yeah, he's a great guy actually. But you had a great year for Tennessee last year. How does that shake out? Do you go in with your agent and say, all right, I want multiple years, shoot for that? Or do you say, hey, I want the 1 year, or hey, I want to try to go to the team that I want to play for? How does that work out?
Yeah, especially now that you're like starting a family and shit. Like, how does this?
Yeah,
I'm sure
I
that
think-
plays into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of conversations that you have with your agent, and I think the first one is not like what I want; it's like what makes sense. Like what can I actually ask for? So can I ask for like a multi-year deal? That's a discussion we have to have. How much am I worth? The value, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, like my thing is like, I just want to play football as long as I can, as long as my body says I can, as long as my mind says I can. So,
Well, you've already beaten the average, right? You've already beaten the average. I think the average NFL career is 3 years, and you're already past that. So
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know
well.
where that stat is from, because I don't know if you have to play a year and then like after you play a year, that's like okay, you're in the stat, because there's a lot of people that go into the training camp and
does
do
it
all that stuff.
Does it
and then
count
don't
practice squad? Because some dudes play on the practice squad for like 10 years,
And then they
never
end up
actually
on the
make an
Bachelor,
NFL
and they
roster.
said they were pro players, and they weren't pro players, and you're like, we know a lot of them.
Oh,
yeah, we know a lot
Hey,
of
we
them.
got one from Missouri State,
Who's that?
Clay Harbor.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at that, dude.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, I thought-
Missouri State's finally got something.
Yeah, we got a
you
guy,
two. It's the two of you guys.
9-year vet that went to on The Bachelor. or the Bachelorette, whatever.
It's either one. Who cares? It's the two of you guys that are repping Missouri State.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous alumni there?
Probably him.
Well, let's hop into the Super Bowl predictions, shall we? Chiefs versus Eagles. Look, you played, obviously. We're just a bunch of dicks who run a podcast. Do you think the two best teams made it?
Yes.
I did too. I think it was a wonky way to get there, especially with injuries and everything else that happened, in particular on the NFC side with San Francisco not having a quarterback for the entire game.
I wish San Fran would have had a quarterback because I do think that they would have put up a good fight. And
I did too.
Also, I think it would have been an easier to figure out if I can predict this, seeing how Philly would.
Same, yeah.
Because, I mean, Philly's played, and it's not, no offense to anybody out there.
Yes.
But they went through the Giants, and they played a quarterbackless 49ers. So it's hard to and the Giants didn't play that well that game either. So it's hard to.
Giants didn't play that well. Hurts has not looked great in either playoff game.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're going to get on Sunday. But also as a fan, it makes it exciting. Because like when I'm showing up the game, I genuinely don't know who's going to win.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I felt like that, where I was like shocked of like, all right, great, who's going to win this game?
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. But the roundabout way to get there, again, has been odd to me. And we'll flip over to the AFC side with the Chiefs. First of all, Chiefs didn't really deserve home field advantage. That Bills game that got postponed really fucked the Bengals. And I hate to say it, a wore sweatshirt after they lost to Mahomes in overtime, because if the Bengals win that game, which they were winning before Damar Hamlin went down, and obviously we can't predict injuries and everything else that's going to happen out there.
Yeah.
If they win the game, they have home field advantage.
Yep.
And they get a bye. Instead, they had to go to Buffalo to win that game in a fucking blizzard, which they did.
Yeah.
Then turn around the next week and go to KC, along with playing a division opponent in Baltimore first week at home, which you've already played the week before, and that's your third time playing them. That was the hardest road to get through for the Bengals.
Not just
and if I'm their fans, I'm pissed off.
Not just the hardest road, but their offensive line got banged up in the process, which really cost them because Kansas City, we talked a lot during the year that they have a really good defense, and they have for a couple of years now, but not necessarily a standout. This year they had a standout, right? 16.5 sacks, a lot of fucking sacks, and he absolutely dominated Cincinnati's offensive line for that whole game. So
talking about Chris Jones.
Jones, yeah. It was very impactful that they had to play those extra games under those conditions, and they lost two of their fucking offensive linemen. The same thing that happened to them last year.
Right.
Sucks.
Right. And for you, somebody who plays defense, when you look at these teams, I look at KC, me personally, and I say, all right, they don't really have great running backs there. I know they're getting Clyde Edwards-Helaire back. Pacheco is good for about 70 a game, 70 yards a game. That's it. It's not like you're going up against Derrick Henry. So you don't really have to be concerned with that. Obviously, you have Pat Mahomes, and then you have the greatest tight end. You have the greatest quarterback and the greatest tight end of the game on the same team, and they're going to wreak havoc, those two. But at wide receiver, who do the Chiefs really have? I mean, Mahomes threw to 11 different receivers last game. Who's out there for these guys? And I don't even know who's healthy for them in this game.
I'm not sure it matters.
Yeah. Do you think it matters? As a guy who starts on defense in the NFL, does it matter who's out there for Mahomes?
Quite honestly, I don't think so. I think Tyreek was a great weapon for him. But I think Andy Reid's a great mind. So they're so multiple, and they're so good at putting people in the right positions and being able to go off script and being under control going off script. That's they're so comfortable going off script, and that's what's hard as a defense. It's we know what they're going to do, but when they go off script and Pat Mahomes starts doing Pat Mahomes things, it's
especially with Kelsey, every route Kelsey runs is either a 2 or 3 move route, right? So he can go in either direction, and they just fucking play. It's a read route, right?
Yeah, a bunch of option routes for him.
It's crazy.
And then he'll run a 7, and then if he feels him outside, he'll just stop it, and Pat knows he's going to do that. So it's just a bunch of those things that they're on the same page. It's off script, and it's stuff that you can't really. You can say, hey, they're going to go off script, but that's all you can say, and then you can try to practice it. But it's hard to, run. I mean,
You just got to try to make good decisions
follow
as
somebody
fast as
running.
possible, dude. I mean, there's nothing else. And then on the other side of the ball, you got Jalen Hurts, who with his legs changes the nature of a defense as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I think Jalen can get loose, and he's got a running back lower body, so it's like it's not like some quarterback just is kind of
that happens to be able to run. No, like he's a running back that happens to be able to throw.
Right.
Right.
And a lot of people say he should be running back, but with Pat Mahomes, you've played against him. Mm-hmm. How frustrating is that as a defense where he goes off script so much that it's virtually impossible to game plan? And how will that affect the Eagles' approach?
Yeah, I think with the Eagles, so I always start with the fronts, and I think the Eagles have a great defensive front, great offensive front. Mm-hmm. So, and if Pat, I had 2 high ankle sprains this year.
Yep.
One in training camp and one like week 15. So I've dealt with them. I know what they feel like, and if he's not 100%, it's going to be tough for him to be able to run around with that. I mean, they're fast.
Yeah.
And their front attacks, they get vertical. So they're all about disrupting. So
they've also really improved run defense, bringing in Sue and just like shoring up that defensive line.
Yeah.
Like it's a really tough defense.
yeah. So the key to the game is if Pat Mahomes can do Pat Mahomes things. But if you can contain him and attack him, get him uncomfortable, and if he's not 100%, it's going to be tough for him to run around that defense because there's a lot of guys that can fly around on that defense.
And we did see it in a Super Bowl where Pat Mahomes was uncomfortable against Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was like no offensive line.
He had no offensive line.
That was a
rough.
tough one.
It was hard to watch.
It was hard to watch.
As a fan of football and as a fan of I'm not a Chiefs fan necessarily, but he's great and I love watching great players play whatever sport it is. It was hard to watch that.
You can't get into a 3-step.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
tough.
but if you can get him into a game like that, then the Eagles could dominate.
Yeah.
And then they wouldn't need Jalen Hurts' arm. He could just run his way to a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll find out what happens.
Well, that's got to be the game plan, you would think, right? Because the Eagles perform best when they're getting turnovers. Mm-hmm. That's when they perform best. Kansas City doesn't really turn the ball over much, but they do sometimes. So they got to force turnovers, which means they got to get to Mahomes and rush him, and then the fucking secondary's got to perform. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, even injured, it's still Pat Mahomes, man. It's hard to bet against that guy.
I think everybody's game plan against the Chiefs is the same. It's run the ball and
try to keep them off the field,
keep it away from them, and then and kind of get them frustrated because Pat this year they've been doing a good job of just being able to take the short throws and letting the game come to him. But when you start running the ball and having success running and score a couple touchdowns, you can get him uncomfortable and he'll start throwing it down the field.
Well, now comes the moment of truth. Who do you got on Sunday? Chiefs versus Eagles.
Okay, so can I go about this in a roundabout way a little
Sure.
bit? Yeah,
Do your
okay.
thing.
You can dance.
Yeah,
Want to
so,
get a third high ankle sprain this year?
So my thing, and I've said it already, is if Pat can use his legs and truly use his legs, I think it's the Chiefs game. But I think if he's not 100%, and I think if Philly has a good game plan of continuing to attack and being able to run the ball, which they have been able to do, I think it's Philly's game. And my boy Justin Reid's over there on Kansas City, so it's hard for me to go against him. And I'm rooting for him. But I think I'm going to have to give this to Philly.
Okay. Whoa, Philly.
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah.
You said all that and you went back to Philly? I was like, God damn, is there something in the room?
Yeah. Said all that. I wanted to go about it in a roundabout way. I love I got a bunch of love for Justin Reid. And I was a Kansas City Chiefs fan growing up. We already talked
dude.
about
And
that.
now you're going against your team?
But I mean, they didn't want to do anything for me back then, and then they decided once I got into the league.
Maybe this spring.
Once I got into the league, they just decided to start taking over. So, but no, I truly think that Philly's built to win this.
Okay.
I think, like I said, it starts with the front, offensive line, defensive line, and I think both sides of the ball, I think they have just the slight advantage of that. Now, like I said, if Pat Mahomes can get loose, that's the key factor. But I think Philly wins this.
Final score prediction.
I will go 28-23.
Wow. Philly.
Yes.
So I'm going 28-24 KC in this one. And I think it's a very, very close game.
Yeah.
And I think it'll come down to quarterback play. Same thing. Because I don't know if Hurts is still injured either. I can't tell over the last 5 weeks what this is or if it's just old Jalen Hurts. So we'll see.
But if Philly executes their game plan, it doesn't really matter.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be on his shoulders. It should be on as a team. I believe Philly as a team, like that's their they're just as a team can win the game.
Well, they have so much more talent on that roster than the Chiefs do, but the quarterback is the one that kind of
the X factor.
Yeah, that makes the wheel. And it's I've won 5 in a row of these goddamn things, and the only time I've been stuck like this was Tom Brady against Mahomes, and I went with the GOAT.
Yeah.
Right now I'm going with the GOAT too. So I just can't bet against Mahomes, and that's all it is.
I can respect
you got Philly
that
as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little lower scoring because I think Philly's going to make a concerted effort to run the ball as much as possible, and converting on third down is a big deal for them as well, and they've been pretty good about it in the playoffs. So they could do that. They're going to control the ball for about 32 minutes. So it's all about limiting exposure when you go up against weapons like Mahomes. The more you don't want to give that guy the ball.
Yeah,
that's a mistake.
Yeah, I will also say that Andy Reid had 2 weeks to prepare for this, so just always
he's an evil.
Always
genius.
watch out for that.
Like everything
they're gonna do some round of rosy bullshit and.
Pocket full of Posey, the snow globe, the whole thing.
Yep.
If he comes out and does a snow globe during the Super Bowl, the amount of disrespect that would be I would love it.
I love everything.
So do I.
Over there.
I love all of it. I love all the bullshit.
Don't you think
pageantry, all of it?
It'd piss me off if that was me, but like I love it like as a fan.
Same.
Don't you think Andy Reid should have an endorsement deal with Waffle House?
No question. Yeah.
Like how have we not, as America, have we not made that happen?
They're pushing for it.
We need to make that happen.
It's change.org. You can go there and sign a
file petition. Yeah.
Figure it out. You're fine. You're good to go. Dylan Cole, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can't find me.
Really?
Yeah.
No social media?
Is that a John Cena thing?
I'm jealous if that's true.
I'm on Twitter and
I'm jealous if that's true. I love it.
I'm on Twitter, but I'm there to like every so often interact and but keep up with the news.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. I wish we could do that.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to look at social media again, I'd be amped about it. Yeah. Congratulations, and I hope a team picks you up long term. Good dude, and solid eye contact, and a great handshake. And
thank you.
I'll let you touch the stash afterwards.
Can't
you
wait.
want to take a pic of it, you can. Like I understand. You gotta just pin it above your wall, or on the wall, and just say to yourself every morning, "That's who I aspire to be."
I will. And you got like a little baby mullet going?
It's
right?
coming.
Yeah,
it's coming a little bit. Wife asked for it.
So you're all the way in.
By the way, wife asked for it.
Really?
Both, yeah. She was like, go, let it go.
Hopefully mine's like that.
And I'm like, all right, cool.
So is that in your future, a mullet? You're looking into a mullet?
I think at some point I'll have to
Late
dabble.
30s.
I have to dabble into it.
Yeah, you got to.
You got to try it.
You can't leave this world not having a mullet at some point
2012 YOLO,
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time, yeah.
You got to.
Yeah. Agreed. And congratulations on the newborn.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I've got one as well. It's a blast. Being a dad's great.
Yeah.
And it's the best gig in the world, for real.
Yeah. It was tough at first, but we figured them out, and we're loving it, and we're gonna keep going.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. One of our producers is out with one, so we'll see. We appreciate you stopping by.
We all got through combat together, and why wouldn't we continue to take care of each other even after this amazingly challenging, gut-wrenching, difficult, but amazing experience we went through together? Why wouldn't we continue to help each other out?
Yeah, we're here as a brotherhood, and we're all hugging and shaking hands, but deep down inside, there's those demons you think only you have. And when you see somebody open up and talk about those, it's not just me, and it's okay, and we can get through this.
Contrary to what you may have heard, the young combat veteran is one of the most at-risk people in the military and post-military service. While military and veteran suicide rates have risen by 30%, the younger age, between 2005 and 2018, rose 80% instead of 30%. In other words, while 18 to 34-year-olds represent only 10% of the veteran population, they represent 79% of all suicides. Because of this, the Independence Fund founded Operation Resiliency, which focuses on tactical combat units that saw heavy conflict in Iraq, Afghanistan, or elsewhere. They bring the units back for a weekend with their command elements so they can get to know each other again and learn to lean back on that camaraderie that made them whole when they were together before. So, how does it work? You go to the Independence Fund website and you find Operation Resiliency. You fill out the form on the page, and then somebody from the organization will get back to you. If you're having trouble, reach out to one of us and we will help you. I've personally met over a dozen men who've been through this program, guys that saw hard combat, and they all have great things to say about it, and they talk about how it saved their lives. So if you're out there and you're part of one of these units, please reach out to us and let us know so that we can help you too.
Like, holy cow, we've done so much in such a short amount of time. It's been awesome. You know, there might be some anxiety, there might be some hesitancy to walk through that door, but if you'll take that step through the door, it's all gonna wash away. You're gonna see that guy that you knew, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, and it's all gonna wash away. You're gonna go right back to that moment, and you're gonna embrace those guys, and they're gonna embrace you, and it's gonna be a great weekend. And to be there with the guys that we were there with every day and trained with and did all those schools and the ranges and all the, you know, late nights in the company, like, that was such an amazing experience. This has been one of those things that, you know, you would typically hear about, like a buddy, you know, getting the deal, and you think, oh, you know, I don't ever get deals like that, you know, and this was one of those things where it's a once in a lifetime amazing opportunity.
Last but not least here, kids, Gare Bears in the house today. Arizona, Gare Bear, Gary Sheffield Jr. here. Who do you got in the big game?
I'm an Eagles fan.
God damn it.
31-21. Dan actually changed my mind. He's sitting there talking to me into a one-possession game. I don't
Delco
believe
did?
it.
Delco changed your mind?
No, me.
Oh, you
Dan
did?
Yeah,
did.
I think it's 24-21.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards a one-score game. The reason why I've had the toughest time with this game, and this is admittedly, by the way, is I cannot figure Jalen Hurts out. The entire team, top to bottom, roster-wise, better than the Chiefs.
Right.
Obviously,
And
going against-
also healthier than the Chiefs, yeah.
But you're also going against the greatest, greatest quarterback of all time. Maybe, we'll see. And Pat Mahomes, and it's tough to bet against him. The last pick I struggled this badly with, and I've won the last 5 Super Bowls, was Tom Brady. And then ultimately, I went with Brady and the experience over Mahomes, and I won. I think I've got to do that here with Mahomes. With Hurts, the last, I don't know, call it 4 or 5 weeks with that guy, barely gotten 150 yards passing.
Well, he's only played 2 of those games.
No,
right?
he played the last game of the season. So
Yeah, well, he's played 3 games in the last 7 weeks.
right, and right before that, before Minshew came in for those couple games, he was hurt. He kind of looked like shit then. I don't think he's had a game over 155 yards in a month and a half, 2 months now.
But didn't he run for like 200 yards?
He did, and so that will lead me to my question. Can a quarterback who might not be able to throw, and we don't know the answer to how truly healthy he is, can a running quarterback win the Super Bowl purely on his legs? Because we have not seen that yet in our lifetime.
Well, when you have an offensive line like that and you look as good as Jalen Hurts, why not? You know, all the ladies are going to be rooting for him.
That's true.
Gotta
I don't know
say
if there's
that.
any power that comes with that, but it definitely is true.
It's true, but we just haven't seen it, and that's what I struggle with, where I don't have anything to really go off of in the past with this guy. I was hoping it was going to be Michael Vick for me, personally. Right. As a Falcons fan, diehard, he's one of my favorite players of all time. Never got there. Never even made it to the Super Bowl, so I don't know.
But there have been a lot of Super Bowls won by quarterbacks who threw under 200 yards.
Yeah, but
right?
now we're in a Trent Dilfer-ish kind of range.
Trent Dilfer couldn't run from here to that fucking wall right there.
I understand that, but Tampa Bay's defense was so dominant, but they also weren't going against Pat Mahomes. So, like, what do you do? And this is where I'm really fucking stuck on this.
Well, most likely the better quarterback wins the Super Bowl. I mean, who thought that Nick Foles was going to outperform Tom Brady?
I certainly did not either.
I talked about it to myself. I was like, there's no way we're winning the Super Bowl. And then, long behold, Nick Foles just plays out his ass. It's not like he was running around.
Yeah.
No.
They were playing trick plays, throwing bombs, wheel routes. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And you have to predict, is Jalen hurt? So he's probably going to have to outplay Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't matter how good Philadelphia is, because Patrick Mahomes is going to squeeze you and force you to beat him one-on-one. And can he do that? I hope so.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, like the thing that's benefited Philly so far in the playoffs is playing short fields, right? Because their defense is really good. They're really good executing on third down. They don't turn the ball over, and they get a lot of turnovers. I think they led the league in turnover ratio actually this year. Mahomes doesn't really turn the ball over, right?
No.
So you're not going to get those. You're not going to get the ball at your own 40 or their 40-yard line 2 or 3 times in a game, probably against Kansas City. So that's the only thing that fucking gives me. If Kansas City were more turnover prone, I would say Philly would win by 10 points. I'd be comfortable with that. But they're not. You know what I mean?
Ankle worry you?
A little, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes, man. We saw. So what did we see in that last game? His ankle's all banged up. It's like, oh, I can't throw off his back foot. He throws a jump pass touchdown off his front foot. I've never seen any fucking quarterback do that before.
That throw
he just
that
does
had
whatever
in
the fuck.
end zone that was
Stupid.
100 miles an
to
hour.
Kelsey, yeah.
Reminded me of his dad throwing off the mound. I mean, it was just a perfect strike. It was 100 miles, and you're like, all right, well, how do you guard that?
But it's off the wrong foot too. So I don't put it's definitely a factor. But I'm more worried about double teaming Travis Kelsey.
Right.
That's what I'm worried about, because I don't know if Pacheco is going to have to return kicks because McCole Hardman's out. So he's not going to give you everything that you've been getting out of him this whole playoff. And look, Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's back, but back for the first time in weeks.
A long time,
very long time.
Yeah.
So who knows how he's going to perform. On paper, the Eagles should win this game by 10 points. But there's no piece of paper is ever going to get me to bet against Patrick Mahomes, to be honest.
And the other thing is, like, I'm looking at Jalen Hurts' stats, okay? And I'm just going to read these off to you, because this is, again, why I'm having such a hard time with him as the quarterback winning a Super Bowl. Against the 49ers, he had 121 yards passing.
How much rushing?
34 of those yards were on a pass that hit the ground. So you're looking at 80. You're looking at, roughly 80 yards passing, 90 yards passing.
Not much there.
Nothing. Against the Giants the week before, 154 yards passing. Giants was the week before that, again, which he had to play because they were trying to get home field advantage. Right. Looked terrible in that game. He had 229 yards passing. They said he was hurt after the game. So I was about to torch him live on air. Him and his coach said he was hurt. 229 yards passing. Week before that, which was December 18th. So you're looking at 6 weeks ago. That was his last really good passing game. He had 315 yards, but it was against the Bears. So what do you do there? The week before that was the Giants again for the third time. So he played the Giants 3 times in a span of 5 weeks, and he had 217 yards passing in that. So I'm just not sure who this guy is. Could he run for 150 yards and win the Super Bowl? Maybe, and it would be interesting to see because we've never seen it, but gambling on it is really fucking tough, and especially for me because I made a lot of money, and the listeners know this. We made a lot of money betting on the Eagles all year long until he ended up getting hurt. And what week was that, Delco? Do you remember when he got hurt, that shoulder? So you're looking at... Shit. Yeah, he was 13. Out the last... December 18th is when he got hurt.
It's been a number shit show for about 7 weeks.
Yeah.
But the reality is, it's like, if you're so good in the trenches, what should your stat line look like? Because if Patrick Mahomes was playing for the Philadelphia Eagles, he'd probably throw the ball for 180 yards. Because like, for what reason do we have to throw the ball? We just hand it off.
But let's flip it. Let's take that example. Let's flip it. He's got 2 of the best receivers on his team.
He does.
Pat Mahomes probably throws for 500 yards on that team. He's got the offensive line is comparable on both teams, so you're fine there.
Well, does he or could he aren't the same question. Certainly he could throw for 350 plus every game with fucking Smith and Brown.
Yeah.
And even Goddard, for sure he could, but would he, right? Like, why risk it?
Well, because like you take in Kansas City, he's got Pacheco, who's fine. He'll get you 60, 70 yards a game.
Right.
He doesn't have that huge breakout game where he goes for 150 or something like that. But if he had Miles Sanders in the backfield along with those receivers, Travis Kelce's better than Goddard, so I'll give him Kelsey and all that stuff. But if he had a great running back and he had 2 bomb-ass receivers like that, does he not go for fucking 400 every? I mean,
that's
you don't think he does?
No, I honestly don't think he does because Philadelphia is so good in the trenches. Running the ball is the easiest thing to do in football. If we're more physical than you get the fuck out of the way and we run it down your throat.
Especially if you've got a premier pass rusher like the Chiefs do. He's the only reason they won that game. Not the only. He's the main reason they won that.
Chris Jones.
He fucking lit it up.
Yeah, he torched it.
What did he have, like 16.5 on the season? He was great all year. But the best way to defeat the pass rush is to run the ball effectively.
Right.
It's the problem the Bills have every single year. They can't stop the run.
Yeah.
And at some point later on in the season, it always catches up with them every single year.
230.
Yeah.
He throw for 230, and it's not because he can't throw for 500. Because if he just sat back in the pocket, like exactly what you're saying, he would throw for 450 yards. You would see how much better he is than Tom Brady. All time.
Yeah. Physically talented, for sure.
I mean, it's not close.
Oh, it's not even.
It's not close, and I wish it weren't that way as an Eagles fan. But he is so much better than Jalen Hurts and every other quarterback in the NFL. That if Mahomes was in this situation, he'd probably throw for 210. Rush for maybe 50 just for fun.
Yeah.
And they'd win this game by 30.
It's all about the offensive style play.
Right. So when we make these predictions, Philadelphia is the better team in my mind in every way, except the Chiefs have Chris Jones and they have Patrick Mahomes. And the fact that that's the case, that's the only reason we're saying this is a one-score game.
They also have Andy Reid, right, who has got a title. And maybe that matters. Maybe it doesn't. Rookie head coaches have won recently. Sean McVay won. He wasn't a rookie, but he won his first one that he went to.
Right.
Well, that's not true. He lost. Was he there? He wasn't there when the Rams got beat by the Patriots, was he?
No, he wasn't there.
Yeah,
yes, he was actually.
Was that his first year? Yeah, it was his first year. But he still made it there.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles' old coach, Peterson, he fucking won the first one he went to, too. So, whatever. But Sirianni is a first-year coach.
Yeah.
Right? So who knows, right? I don't know how that all factors in because we've seen guys like McCarthy and Shanahan seem to collapse when the pressure's on play calling and clock management. Those two guys specifically fuck it up on a regular basis. I don't know how that's going to come into play, but yeah, you're right. The game isn't decided based on who throws for more yards or rushes for more yards. It's decided on who puts more points on the fucking board.
Yeah.
And Philly finds a way to do it. They score 30 points a fucking game, just piecing it together. They remind me of like a much more talented version of like the Royals in 2015 or one of these teams that plays small ball, for lack of a better phrase, baseball-wise. It's a lot more like that. They get the job done however you got to get it done.
Well, because they have to.
Well, that's the way the team is built, though.
I know, but they built the team around the quarterback, which has also never happened. And we talked about that with Brian Urlacher, and it's the first time I've seen it. Now, maybe if the Eagles win, maybe more teams start doing it.
Well, think about that. Would you rather pay your quarterback $45 million or pay him $20 million and spend that other $25 on a couple of offensive tackles, maybe a third premier receiver? Because frankly, if I'm only depending on the quarterback for 200 yards a game, 220 yards a game, then I can do a lot more. But look at Mike Allstott, Warrick Dunn, and Trent Dilfer winning a title together, right? And Trent Dilfer is definitely the weakest link there.
And even look at the San Francisco 49ers, because I don't think it matters who you slot in there. They just needed a body.
Yeah.
I had the 49ers winning that game, and because their defense is so disgusting. And even though they were on the field for 40 fucking minutes, they only gave up 269 yards of total offense, which, again, you take that 34 off the board, 230, for being on the field for 40.
They dominated, really.
I mean, it was just crazy.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's hard to, in the modern era, even the Ray Lewis teams, I think this might be the best defense I've ever seen, that 49ers team.
But you got 2 years left of this, so they got to get a quarterback. Purdy's out for them, so we'll see. And then maybe the Eagles have changed the model of what you look for in the NFL. And yes, to answer your question, I would rather spend my money on other pieces rather than one guy. Because again, as a Falcons fan, there's 2 rumors that are going around right now. Lamar Jackson's going to take you for $250. Is that the guy that's going to win you the Super Bowl on his own? No, he's not. I don't see how that.
But he is going to. But he is going to get $40 to $45 million a year.
Yes.
So in my opinion, if he signs in Baltimore or somewhere else as a free agent, he immediately handicaps that team.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's no question. But I mean, when you talk about building in the trenches, it sounds like it's like the unsexy move. But what's funny is I always say, like, any team who takes the tackle and all the guard, and they're the ones who end up winning. But I said that about Jamar Chase's pick to Cincinnati. I was like, what a fucking idiot. Why would you take Jamar Chase? I was like, I see the talent, but you guys can't block worth the shit.
Right.
Well, they've
And
got to
it
fix. They've got to. Well, it worked up until the AFC
course.
Championship game,
Right, of
2
course.
years in a row, right? So they've got to figure it out now.
Yes.
Now they got to plug that hole. But I agree, and that's a rare circumstance. And they were just unlucky because they also signed. They did the right thing. They were disciplined and signed some free agents in the offseason to play tackle and offensive guard, but they just got hurt. You can't.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. And think about just building a team. It takes 5 years. Like, you got to draft the right edge rushers, you got to draft the right linebackers, you got to draft the right offensive tackles specifically, and then everything else you got to plug and play. You got to draft a quarterback like every 7 to 10 years, something like that.
Yeah, and
depending.
I mean, it's almost the University of Georgia model, the Bulldogs. Like, you have a great offensive line, great defense. There's no sexy superstars as far as offense goes. And, you got a quarterback like Stetson Bennett's not going to be an NFL guy.
Well,
or anything like
Kyle
that.
Pitts was a superstar, but
Yes.
he's the only offensive superstar they've had.
Well, and they got Brock Bowers, right?
But the
that's
Eagles
still,
did that in the Super Bowl last time they won. I mean, Corey Clement's like running for 60 yards, all these random guys.
So is that the model going forward? We'll find out on Sunday. Let's get your final prediction.
Do you think it is? I don't think it is. Because it takes too long.
Not anymore.
For a GM, you got to, how do you maintain job security for 5 to 6 years that it takes to build that team?
That's
You know
what I was going to say. So other than job security, if it wasn't for that, and in a me now league where it's like, I want to draft a quarterback, I want him to start, and I want him to fucking win tomorrow. GM's the same way. You got to win a fucking championship. Coach is the same way.
The only place where it's not true is the Cowboys, but they still can't figure it out. Because Jerry Jones will let you stay there and figure it out.
Sure will.
But for whatever reason, the people that he selects can't figure it out. It's very bizarre.
It's weird.
Maybe it's just bad luck. It's hard to win in the NFL,
I don't know if it changes the model. I feel like it was the model, and then now they changed the rules where, like, the passing team, the sexy receiver and all that, they can score because we talked about it. If you can score in the playoffs, you're probably going to win. It used to be whoever can hold who to 17, who can hold who to 10, and it's like that's not the way the game's played anymore. Now it's like, can Patrick Mahomes show up? The defensive line of the Eagles is better than your offensive line. Can you win anyway?
Yeah.
And it's like, are our stars better than yours? And I'm like,
well,
so my final prediction is 31-21 Eagles.
But that'll give us the answer.
But that's the answer.
Yeah,
is
that'll
that,
give us the answer.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think he's sexy enough to overcome the Eagles defense.
Okay. D'Anthony, who do you got?
I've got Eagles 24-21.
Okay.
I think the Eagles are going to make a big push early the first half to eat up as much clock as they can. I mean, that's the smart move, right? Yeah. You want to keep it's like old school college basketball where you fucking use the entire 35-second shot clock. You want to make sure that Patrick Mahomes is on the field as little as possible, which means a couple of things. Running the football a lot, converting on third down, which they're good at, right? But the Chiefs also have a great pass rush. So if you're in third and longs, if the Eagles find themselves in third and longs early on in the game,
they're fucked.
They're fucked.
Yep. Yeah.
Big time. So we'll see, but I think it's going to be Eagles 24-21.
I think it's going to be a great game. We certainly got the two best teams, which is rare, coming out of the, look, even with Brock Purdy, hypothetical, let's say, because I had the 49ers originally with Purdy in it, you still don't want to see that in real life. And I don't think the fans want to see it either.
I didn't want to see Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl.
You want to see, because the Eagles have been great all year. We've won a ton of money off the Eagles and Chiefs all year. This is the matchup we wanted. It took a roundabout way to get there due to a shit ton of injuries and some other weird shit. But we finally got the teams we wanted. I do think it is a close game. I'm going to go with Mahomes in this one, same as I went with Brady a couple years ago, and I'll say it's 28-24.
Yeah, I
think it's a one-score game.
That's my second pick is Chiefs 28-24.
Yeah, and if it comes down to Jalen Hurts having to throw the ball in the second half, I think that's where they will lose this game.
Yeah, and earlier I said that the Chiefs have the best player in the game, which matters. They actually have the two best players because Travis Kelce is one of I think he actually is now the best playoff receiver in the history of the NFL.
Second, yeah.
Who's first? Jerry Rice?
Jerry Rice.
Okay, so he'll get there before his career's over. So he's played 17.
Maybe.
No, he will. He's played 17 There's just more playoff games now. He's played 17 playoff games. He's got 16 fucking touchdowns.
What's he got to do to become the number one?
Beat him in yards and touchdowns. I think Jerry's got 18 total touchdowns.
Jesus Christ, are you kidding me?
And Well, they played in 4 Super Bowls.
I mean, that's what happens when you play winning football for a while.
Then he played
but here's the other thing.
playoff
He was
games
always
with the
getting a
Raiders and
bye,
shit.
Yeah. And then now the playoffs have been extended. Now
Yeah.
more teams are in and all that shit.
Right.
So, like,
But he's got,
understand
I
it.
think he's got, in 17 games, I think Travis Kelce has 134 receptions, like 1,464 yards, and 15 or 16 touchdowns. I mean, it would be the best season for a tight end ever, but he's done it in the playoffs.
Yep.
So they have the 2 best players in the game, which that matters, man. Big guys that make plays, show up in fucking crunch time like that. Not that Devonta Smith isn't great. He's great. He made a big play 2 weeks ago, even though it technically wasn't, but that's not his fault. I mean, it is what it is.
And he is great. Look,
And A.J. Brown's, these guys don't turn the ball over. They don't drop passes. Both teams, they don't turn the ball over. They don't drop passes. This is going to be the best Super Bowl we've seen in a very, very long time.
Right. And if Jalen Hurts does have to run, if there's something wrong with his arm or whatever, and we don't have the answer these last few weeks. If he does have to run and he is able to carry this team on his shoulders, he'll go down as a fucking legend.
Yeah.
Let's say he runs for 150 yards in this game and they win, right? A 1-score game against Mahomes. You can build the statue in Philly, like that's the dude, man. I mean, it would be one of the most impressive things you could possibly do if you can't throw, just because we've never seen it before.
Hey, is he gonna screw us over with a big contract then? If he goes out and if he shows out on Sunday,
$40 million a year is what they're saying.
40 mil?
His teammates have already said pay the man numerous times during media days this week. So it's
fundamental. Can you even win paying the quarterback?
one guy has done it, and it's Mahomes.
It's Mahomes.
That's it. Brady took a pay cut all those years.
Yep.
For 20 years, he took a fucking pay cut.
This isn't a requirement now at this point. You're not Mahomes, so really, I mean, of course, I can't get mad you want to get paid.
Right.
I can't get upset, but if you're an Eagles fan, I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and say you're going to draft a quarterback, but doesn't it kind of suck that you're going to pay your quarterback and now your team's not good? Like,
and if your team is that good all the way around and it doesn't really matter, just pick off a Jimmy G or somebody like that. If you're just looking for a game manager, I mean, to keep that whole team together, because you're still going to have to pay that amazing defense and all that shit.
Yeah,
so
and I feel like bad. I don't want to call Jalen Hurts a game manager because he's better than that. He's like a super game manager.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's not a game manager.
He's not a game manager that's doing it because he can't do other stuff. He's doing it because that's what fits the mold of the team.
The team's good enough.
That's a lot
to where
different than being Trent Dilfer. Frankly.
Yeah, like you need to take a step back. Look how good the trenches are.
By the way, Matt Stafford in the year they won in LA, $20 million. That was his salary. Half the going rate for a fucking NFL quarterback. So yeah, there's definitely something to it. There's a reason.
I agree.
Mahomes, what's his name?
Burrow I would pay, and probably Josh Allen I would pay.
Ryan Clark from ESPN, the former Steelers defensive back.
Yep.
Yeah.
He likes to say that Tom Brady isn't the best quarterback of all time, but he's the best franchise of all time. Because he fucking took pay cuts on purpose and restructured contracts 3 separate times in his career, by the way, to make sure they got the pieces. And it wasn't the Randy Moss year that he fucking restructured. It was to get like linebackers and fucking offensive tackles and shit.
Revis.
Like all those guys, like, everyone's like, how the fuck does Gilmore get there? And like all these guys, I'm like, you realize Brady's taken like 21 million and Giselle was making like 50.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the way to win. But I'm not going to sit up here and say, yeah, just start taking less money, guys. Because fuck no. If I'm going to get paid $50 million, well, my agent's the first one calling.
100%.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or just start dating richer women like Tom Brady, and then you can win more titles.
Yeah, but you gotta stop at like 43.
Yeah, you gotta.
That's where it burns out, I guess.
You gotta kick that back, but good for him.
But I wonder if if you're the premier player on the team, how much does winning increase your brand value, right? Like, how many more contracts outside of football am I going to get because of that? And if it's, let's say I exchange $20 million a year for NFL salary, but I get 25 or even the same amount, 20 mil per year in subsidies or contracts outside the NFL because of the success of the team, that still is a good business deal.
It is, and if
plus you got the fucking titles.
And you've got a big market already. So Philly's already a big market. You're right next to New York. You can still do all the things, all the brand deals, everybody else. Philly itself. Look, if you win in Philly, you're a fucking hero forever.
You are.
So, I mean, the endorsement deals alone will probably cover it.
I mean, Freddie Mitchell's
playing in, Kansas City. Take the money.
Freddie Mitchell's still here. Well, I don't know. Tom Brady played in New England.
No, he's not. People don't like
Boston.
Freddie Mitchell.
It's Boston. It's still Boston.
But isn't Nick Foles a legend?
Yes.
Is he?
showed up-
Let me ask the diehards here. We'll ask him
If
first.
Nick Foles showed up to the stadium and the link,
Would you
how do you
freak
feel
out?
how do you feel the reception is?
Like a hero, yeah. Yeah.
One title.
Title.
And he was here for 15 minutes.
If he showed up at his house, I wouldn't know who he is. I don't think I've ever seen him without a helmet on.
You've never seen Nick Foles?
Not without a helmet on.
Why?
I don't even know what his voice sounds like. Because he's just not that interesting of a dude. And he only played, 10 games total? Like he's a strange one to me.
27-2. He had an entire season with Chip Kelly.
Where at?
The year
Philly.
prior.
Oh, in Philly.
He
No,
played
not
really
the year
well.
prior. He came back.
Yeah.
Oh, he came
I
back.
thought he went
Gotcha.
to. I thought he went to the
Jacksonville.
He went to
Jacksonville,
Jacksonville, and then
next
he came back.
year. Oh, I see.
Oh, gotcha. When no one cared.
Actually, no, he went somewhere else before that. Too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even
he went
you
to
don't know.
the Colts too, right?
Oh, that's
well,
right.
he was
Yeah, he
on
was
the
at the
Colts.
Colts.
Yeah.
And then the
fuck
Bears.
cares?
I think he's at the Bears.
But there was another team he left for, too.
Who the fuck knows?
Either way,
dude?
if he showed up, there would have to be a Bible underneath his arm to be like, oh yeah, you're Nick Foles.
Yeah.
I don't know what he looks like. I don't even know what his voice sounds like.
I don't think Tom Brady was ever the highest paid quarterback in the NFL,
Probably never.
Not once.
but
Not once.
he's won 7 fucking titles.
It's not why he's winning, but it's the reason why you go, why does Brady have all this time? It
Yeah.
seems like he always gets the breaks. He's always got some dude who's making some like jumping catch. It's like, yeah, because he figured out, I'll take a pay cut. You guys invest in the trenches, protect me, get to the quarterback on the other side of the ball, and then I'm going to throw to a bunch of schmendy white guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like Dan in my skin color.
Yeah.
And they win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
So, like,
Julian
kinda
Edelman.
back to what you were saying.
He's throwing to Jewish fucking receivers for Christ's
Look
sake.
at all of them. They're all in the same mold.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman, Wes Welker. Who is the last one?
Amendola?
Yes.
Yeah, Amendola.
Danny Amendola. I think,
He-
I think he's coming on tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, I think he's gonna.
I'll
be
ask him about
Danny
that.
Woodhead.
We'll ask him
Yeah,
about his
Woodhead.
whiteness.
Yeah,
And they're all open.
but then like James White,
right.
these guys who are fucking role players.
Yeah,
Kevin
dude.
Falk.
Kevin Falk.
Kevin Falk,
Yeah.
shit.
Corey
Dillon in
Yeah.
the end of his career.
But yeah, it's like but on the other side, on the business side of that, he also used the success and the fame because of the success to monetize outside the NFL.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So it's not just about the contract, man.
Yeah.
It's not about the like Lamar Jackson. Everybody likes he's one of the most universally liked people because he doesn't do or say any stupid shit. He's just everybody realizes how hard he works all the time. So you can turn that into fucking dollars outside the NFL, dude. You don't have to fucking sit around and wait on a contract somewhere. Go to San Francisco, take $20 million a year instead of 45. And then fucking win title
5
after
Super
title,
Bowls.
man.
If Lamar Jackson went to the 49ers, they'd win the next 5 years in a row.
All those checks would come on the back.
Oh, my
end.
God,
The TV
dude.
deal would be $300 million because
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson seems like a funny dude.
He is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you see a dude who has a character, Peyton Manning, all those guys, if Peyton Manning made $15 million for the entirety of his career, what would he play? 15 years?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're making a ton of money anyway.
300 mil.
He's going to sign a $250 to $300 million deal to be on TV.
Yep.
And you're probably going to get hurt less. And that's what happened. I mean, I guess in football, it's much easier said than done because you watch a guy like RG3 get hurt, and you're like, shit, maybe I should take this money.
Yeah.
So it's a tough call. I know I wouldn't make it. I promise you.
Yeah.
It sounds good. Like
Yep.
I agree with the point, but I think if somebody offered me $45 million to play quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, I'm probably going to do it, despite what the line looks like. Or
You
the
look like
receivers.
Dak. If you shaved your head, you'd be a smaller Dak.
You think so?
So yeah.
You're probably more accurate though.
You're more accurate. I think. And with Brady, as far as like, what you do with that extra money, you invest it and you make sound investments like FTX.
Right.
And you just have
Well,
a great.
maybe
beautiful.
not that one.
So
Yeah.
did that
It's a
turn out
touchy
bad?
subject.
Yeah.
That turn out
I
bad?
had money in it.
Did you really?
No, fuck no. I had money in Bitcoin though.
Well, the jury's still out on that. We'll see what happens in Bitcoin.
Bitcoin will make a comeback in a couple of years, probably.
At some point.
It might.
I won't be in it though.
No, you sure won't.
No, I'll be fucking way out of there.
Yeah, you'll be on the sidelines.
I spent all my money on drugs and guns.
Yeah, so Dan's good.
Just in case the apocalypse happens, I want to be high and armed.
He'll be high in arms
Yeah.
and prepared.
He's like, just in case the Bitcoin goes off the he's like, just in case it goes crazy, I'll just shoot myself. with
Yeah,
all the guns he's got.
No. So if you're out there accumulating resources, then you're basically storing stuff for the winter for me, because I will come and take your shit.
Yeah, he's gonna
You know
come
what I
over to
mean?
your house and take it, and that's anybody.
And we're gonna do nothing about it. And you sure as shit know that Joe Biden's not gonna do anything about it.
He's
'cause
not, no.
There's a balloon in the air for 2 weeks in the United
Yeah, dude,
States.
we're not doing anything with that.
No.
I hope it goes over to the Super Bowl this weekend.
Somebody should do that as a publicity stunt. That'd be really fucking funny.
really fucking
Holy
funny.
shit, that'd be funny.
Thanks for joining us
Yeah,
again,
man.
Gare Bear, and that nickname's really starting to stick in my heart.
Of course. That's what girls in junior high used to call me.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
Well,
they used
you're basically a junior high school girl,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
You've got the best of both worlds because you got the good skin.
Thank
where
you.
it's like, dude, I just want a little tint of tan like that. You know what I'm saying?
We'll just
Yeah.
get a full body tattoo of a little bit darker.
I thought
That's
about
what
it.
didn't that what's
Women
that?
are doing it.
Who,
You
who's
know
that
that, right?
white girl that was the
Oh,
fucking
yeah, dude.
NAACP
Yeah.
chick
Yeah.
in Seattle or
Dolezal.
whatever? Dolezal, yeah.
Yeah, women are doing it, dude. They're doing lipstick. They're doing eyebrows.
Jesus Christ.
It's
I'm
just a
dark as I
little
need to be.
tint. Yeah. You're a perfect shade, dude. You're a perfect shade.
That's the- that's the
we're
future.
too white over here,
It's the
and that's
future,
fine. Bet with us or against us on mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin' Bros doubles your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. If the game gets close towards the end, I'm going to storm the field, though, because Daddy needs that money. I lost it all on the 49ers game with Brock Purdy and his little tiny arm getting broken in half. So if they get down and you see a guy on the field, it's going to be me this Sunday. Tell everybody where they can find you, Gary.
Gary Sheffield Jr. on all platforms. Twitter is that's my main spot. I just talk shit and we have fun. And you know, we ruffle feathers, all three of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn right we do.
And we love doing it.
It's
Sure
fun.
do.
But that's the whole fucking point of that website.
It's so fun. Just make
Yeah.
people
Man.
laugh, and people get upset and they want me to change, and then they see me in person and they're like, let's grab a picture.
Oh, you're
Grab a
actually
pic,
you're
Care
actually
Bear, you're good.
you're actually a nice guy. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's the internet. We're fucking talking shit.
Do they ever say you're one of the good ones?
Yes. Yeah, I ran
knew
into
it.
someone at Yankee Stadium. They're
fucking
like,
knew it,
dude,
dude."
you ended up being way cooler than I thought. I'm like, yeah, because it's not my fault. You have issues to resolve. Like, I'm just fucking around and trying to make people laugh. And it's like, if you don't find something that I say funny, who cares?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Not every joke hits.
It sure doesn't. Go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. Also, head on over to Spotify. It's just a 5-star. You can walk away. They blew all their money on other podcasts that they shouldn't have, so they don't have that technology. Fuck them. Exploit the system. Hit the 5-star and walk away. We appreciate you being here. Enjoy your Super Bowl. Hope you're eating good, living good, and betting on the right teams. For D'Anthony Holloway, Gary Sheffield Jr., I am Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin' Bros Sports Super Bowl Prediction Show. Good night, everybody, or day in Arizona.